You can learn a great deal by paying close attention to other men's mistakes, and you can learn nothing at all by ignoring them. I am going to present in this video the tragic tale of a man who tried to cheat on his wife by sleeping with my girlfriend again and again and again during the period of their engagement and now even after their wedding. In this email from November of 2023, he is saying, as you'll see underlined, that he still feels what he felt back then. So what is it that they felt back then? On screen, you will see him complaining here that he never had a bachelor party, and he is asking my girlfriend to be what people politely call a cam girl. He is asking her to get naked on camera and engage in masturbation for him and with him as he is on camera on his end also. On the left-hand side here, this is the same date. This is part of the same conversation. He is celebrating marrying one woman by cheating on her with another woman February 9th, 2022. The woman he's cheating on his wife with just happens to be my girlfriend. And on the right, you just have a contrasting image giving you a sense of how long this went on for. The whole of 2020 and 2021, basically. So what does it mean when April 15th, 2024, he is sending her this seemingly innocuous email, or he's saying in the other email, much longer, that he still feels the same way he felt before? He is trying to revive. He is trying to resume a relationship with my girlfriend that went much, much further than mutual masturbation, went much, much further than the kind of pornography people routinely pay for via OnlyFans, via other websites I honestly don't even know the name of, where you pay someone to be a cam whore, to masturbate in front of you. Well, this guy, Abhishek, he got that out of my girlfriend for free with glee. But, irony of ironies, if there's one thing easier to catch than coronavirus, it's feelings. Yeah, you can see here the type of very substantive conversation they had. I have seen now hundreds of videos and photos. I do not want to estimate if the number is in the hundreds or the thousands. The total number of pornographic images and videos these two created of their midsections and exchanged over the internet this way. But once you really get to know somebody by watching them masturbate, you're ready to take the next step and get married. Quote, I was also thinking if I were to tell about you to my mom and tell her I'm interested in marrying you, how I'd go about it. Quote, I just realized that I'm planning to bring my mom to visit me sometime next year. Probably the best way to introduce you would be if I can just get you to meet her in person so she won't assume anything. And I'm sure she'll like you, so it might actually work. So yes, when he's writing to her just 2 weeks ago in 2024 that he feels the same way that he felt before, now that he is married to another woman, I don't think he is just saying that he wants to see Melissa naked, that he wants to masturbate at the same time she does on camera. I think he is saying he still wants to marry her. Quote, to answer this particular question, yes, I'd stay in America with you if we were a couple and we decided to marry. Quote, as long as you're dependent on him, he's going to have the upper hand. He probably feels you won't leave him for all the rationalizations you gave me yesterday. I want you to be independent. I'll fund you for whatever you want to study/learn to stand on your own feet. That is not him just offering to pay for a hotel room. That is offering for him to pay for her university education or something of that kind for several years. Perhaps he is still now interested in doing that while he's married, and perhaps his wife would not be as cool about that as the polyamorous among us in this audience must hope. This is Abhishek's account writing to Melissa, but obviously the actual person writing is my fellow YouTuber, his lawfully wedded wife. And as you can see, she did discover the images. She was not entirely happy with what she saw. I know what 90% of you are thinking. This must be a kind of kinky game. When you look at this screenshot here, and Melissa is saying, oh, well, if you like my fingers so much, why don't you put a ring on them? And he is saying, why don't you marry me, sweetheart? And she's saying, I love you. Aren't they just playing around? The same kind of silly, kinky game that they're saying here, dirty talk, exchanging videos, masturbating. Couldn't it be that I am simply assigning far too much significance to what are just two bored, lonely people masturbating in the middle of the coronavirus lockdown? No, I don't think so. Quoting Melissa, quote, talking about that has made me start thinking about how my life could be completely different. I know I won't be able to help but think occasionally, I should have left and married Abby. I think about all the ways that our relationship would be different and how maybe I would be happier, how it would be special to you, and the fact that you haven't been in a real relationship. If you don't know what that means in the audience, guys, he was a virgin. He was a virgin until marriage. Melissa is negotiating taking his virginity, believe it or not. But yeah, it certainly has a redeeming quality that this guy is in his 30s. Talk about a 30-year-old virgin and has never been in a relationship of any kind. Woo! All right. The fact that you haven't been in a relationship would mean that this is new to you. Like, you haven't been married and you haven't had a baby with another woman. Before this, though, those thoughts didn't used to cross my mind about Isol, but now they do, because I have been thinking about how I might feel different with someone like you. The idea alone has affected my behavior and my thinking about the future. Maybe that is crazy on my part, and if so, I will stuff it down and instead focus on the positives of what I have in my life and remember why it is I have gotten to where I am and now try to make the best of it. Abhishek replies, you mentioned how I said that I wanted to marry you and also said that I don't want you to leave your boyfriend, so I probably didn't mean it. I did mean it. I think I can take care of you, provide for you, be a loving partner, etc., etc. You guys can pause and read this whole statement. But note the underlined portion in red. He says, I didn't lie to you about wanting to marry you. This is not just kinky fun and games. And here is a somewhat stirring example of him having doubts about the moral position he's in himself. Underlined in red, he's never thought about this from my perspective before. But when he does, he realizes how utterly immoral and contemptible he is, in his own eyes, by his own judgment, according to his own moral values. And I think also it's rather evil from the perspective of his wife.